Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today I want to speak about transfer news. A lot of players are being negotiated and I'm going to speak about what happened all throughout last week, and I'm going to explain everything like in the correct timeline so you guys can get what's going on and what has been going on in the past 72 hours. So we are first going to talk about Semedo, and according to Sport, Barcelona are willing to sell Nelson Semedo for 50 million euros, and this report came out like about 3 to 4 days ago, but I didn't want to talk about it right after because at first I was like, okay, I don't really believe this, but then as I was thinking about it, I'm like, wait, this could actually make sense because I'm going to explain why I think this makes sense. And before I talk about that, right here it says Eric Abidal met with Semedo's agent Jorge Mendes to discuss his future, that he could be sold to a Premier League team. Barca believe that Sergi Roberto is considered to be better. I was thinking about this and I'm like, okay, does this even make sense? Because we all know that Semedo plays well and that we like him because he's faster, he tracks back more. But I was doing some research and I'm like, okay, wait, actually this article could make sense because when I was doing some research on both of these players, if we look at the stats over the past 3 seasons, Semedo hasn't provided any assist over the past 2 seasons, 2017-2018 season, 2018-2019 season, and now that we are in the 2019-2020 season, he has provided 2 assists. And then if you compare these stats to Sergio Roberto, if we look at his past 3 seasons, in the 2017-2018 season he provided 7, and then the next season after that he provided 7, and then now he has 2. So if you look at these 2 players and you compare apple to apple, Sergio Roberto has actually been providing more than Nelson Semedo. And I know, I get it that Sergio Roberto has had time to adapt to the Barcelona play because he has grown up with Barcelona, but at the end of the day, if you're not providing assists or goals, you're not providing assists or goals. And Barcelona relies heavily on a good right back, someone who can provide assists and score goals, because Barcelona has always relied on a good right back. Look at Dani Alves. Ever since Dani Alves left, Barcelona has been looking for that replacement for Dani Alves. And if we're gonna go based off that, then Sergi Roberto is the ideal right back because at the end of the day, he's providing more. Now, is Semedo quicker and can he track back faster? Yes, he can, but Barcelona is not looking for that. They're looking for someone who could be a right winger and a right back, because last time we had like an amazing right back was Dani Alves, right? And he provided 26 assists to Lionel Messi, and while at that, he scored goals. So again, part of Barcelona's greatest threats is a good right back who can provide assists and goals. Their system has always worked that way, and so I can see why this report came out, and I can see why this could make sense. And later on, after that report came out, like about 12 hours later, Mundo Deportivo reported that Eric Abidal did not meet with Jorge Mendes. They were saying that he was on holiday, and honestly, Abidal, he didn't say that he was on holiday. This is just a report. This is what they reported. He didn't say that himself, so we don't know if that's true either. But if we're gonna talk about who is the ideal right back for FC Barcelona, right now it's looking like Sergio Roberto, and I think it's a good time to talk about it because at the end of the day, we don't have a right back when we're like, okay, that's our right back, he should be starting 24/7 365. Right now we are switching between Sergi Roberto and Semedo. We don't have an official right back. So again, I know it sounds crazy that I'm kind of pushing Semedo away, but based off these stats, Sergi Roberto has been involved in more goals than Semedo, and if we look at the bigger picture, Sergi Roberto is the better right back. So it's something to think about. I don't know if Barcelona is really going to sell Semedo. Again, I don't think Semedo is a bad player. I just find it very interesting that Semedo has been involved less than Sergi Roberto. Now moving on to Todibo, we all know, and it's a fact, that AC Milan is really trying to get Todibo, and so I'm going to run you guys through this story on what was happening last week so you guys can have a clear picture on what's going on with Todibo and AC Milan. So there is this guy, right, named Frederic Massara, who is the director of football for AC Milan. He did travel to FC Barcelona in hopes to close a deal. Now, we don't know what Barcelona's goals are on what they want to get from this deal, but there has been reports that Barcelona are willing to let go of Todibo on loan to AC Milan with a buyback option. And we talked about this before. Like, I made a video about this 5 days ago and I explained how pissed I was to hear that Barcelona might let go of Todibo without a buyback option, because that just doesn't make any sense. Like, we're willing to let go of a defender, a young defender, one of our best potential defenders, to AC Milan, and we're not giving ourselves a option to buy him back. It doesn't make any sense. So yesterday, the sporting director did have a meeting with Todibo, and after that meeting, it was up to Todibo to decide what he wanted to do and if the offer that he was shown Milan the right move to his career, which now brings me into what happened 24 hours ago. According to Sport, Frederic Masada, who is the director of football for AC Milan, he did not return to Milan after that meeting with Todibo. After that meeting, he instead decided to stay in Barcelona in order to set up another meeting, but this time with Todibo and his mother. And after that meeting, after that second meeting in Barcelona, that meeting actually turned out to be a lot better, and there was an agreement between Barcelona and AC Milan, which means that AC Milan will now prepare a loan offer without a purchase option, which means that AC Milan cannot buy him. And this is a much better option than the one before, like I explained earlier. And this loan deal is a much better deal than the one that they were going to do before. And I didn't even know if that was true, but there were multiple reports saying that, so I was afraid that Barcelona was actually going to give Todibo to AC Milan without a buyback clause. But with this loan deal that we're currently in for Todibo and AC Milan, this is good for all parties, including Todibo, because for Barcelona, they're able to sell Todibo, make him a better player, have him get the experience, and then bring him back in June. And it's also good for AC Milan because they get the defender, the reinforcement that they need, and it's good for Todibo because, again, he's going to get the minutes, he's going to get a chance to prove himself that he is a good defender and prove his worth. So now it's up to Todibo to say, okay, yes, let's do this deal, and I think that it is a good deal for all parties. Todibo should do this, and I hope it goes through. Now I want to give my updates on Vidal, and again, we all know what's happening between Vidal, Barca, and Inter Milan. So according to Deo Sport, Inter's coach Conte, it has been reported that he said he is waiting on the arrival of Arturo Vidal to come to Inter Milan. Now, do I believe that Conte actually said something like that? No, I don't think so, because no coach would ever publicly state, yes, I want this player to come to my club, or I'm waiting for this player to come to my club. That doesn't exist in professional football. If you think that's true, if you think that Conte did say something like that, that's false. Get that out of your head. It's not true. The only time we went something close to that was when Zidane was admiring Mampé, and this is what Zidane said: like any good player, I would be happy to coach him, but it's not the time to talk about that. And then later on this year, in 2019, around November, he said, I don't know. It's the player who decides. At the moment, he plays for PSG. We'll see in the future if that changes. I know he always said his dream is to play for Real Madrid. So a coach could say good things about a player. They could admire them, but never say, hey, come to my club. So this story is false. But what we do know is that Inter Milan is trying to negotiate with Vidal and Barcelona. We know that's true. And we also do know that Barcelona and Milan, Inter Milan, are having a price disagreement. We know that Inter Milan are offering 12 million, but Barcelona wants 20 million. And we know that Barcelona does not want to let go of Vidal, especially for 12 million, because Barcelona knows that if they do let go of another midfielder, they would at least want to get a good amount of money for that transfer. So that's why they are staying firm with that 20 million. So since Barcelona are not willing to negotiate down their price, this could only go two ways. It's going to come down to two ways. One is if Vidal says, I want to leave, he lets the club know that he wants to leave and that he wants to go to Inter within the next few weeks, or Inter Milan gives in and says, okay, fine, we'll pay you the 20 million euros that you are asking for Vidal. It can only go between those two ways. Barcelona will not let go of Vidal for that cheap. That's just how it is. That's the current status of Vidal, Inter Milan, and Barcelona. So thank you guys for watching. That's what's going on in Barcelona. I just wanted to give my opinion about this, and I just want to talk about what could happen and what's the right move for this player and what's the right move for that player. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.